Welcome into sportsbookreview.com. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And this is the college football show week 16. That's right. Championship week. We made it. We made it.
This is where it ends.
This is the last Tuesday show of the season. Now, obviously, we've got bowl games coming up. We got playoffs.
Yeah.
We ain't necessarily going anywhere, but just so you guys know, we ain't going to be around on Tuesdays going forward. We will figure out what to do from here on, obviously. but we made it through this crazy season, 4 months worth of mayhem.
I hope we can all stay friends.
I would hope so as well. Before we get started, of course, for championship week, let me remind you all the stuff that you need to know about this sport, about this weekend, everything else, sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. There is a link in the description. You can go ahead and check that out. Very easy to do. That is your one-stop shop. It's got all the deep dives on the biggest games, and we don't just have championship games this weekend. We got other games that you might not be thinking a whole lot about. So go and check them out. We're going to give you the best edge over there. We got great writers that dive into a whole lot of content, a whole lot of data, and they're going to let you know what the right side to bet on is. So go and check it out. sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. The Pick 6 contest continues. That's right. NFL's still rock and rolling. Hey, we got Saturday NFL games this week.
I was just about to say, yeah.
I'm curious about those numbers. It's going to be crazy.
They're going to be fine.
I figured they might be.
They'll be just fine.
So go over to sbrpicks.com/pick6, PICK and the number 6. Again, easy to do. It is free to enter. You just type in your name, type in whatever it is that they request over there, and you pick your NFL games and your college games, or just your college games, or just your NFL game, whatever it is. You're going to pick 6 games against the number, and you can win cash prizes every single weekend. So go on and check that out. Of course, make sure that you like this video. There's a little thumbs up button right there, down at the bottom. Check that thing out. Simple to do. And yeah, we would appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel. Although we are not doing this particular live show until next year, we are going to be popping in here regularly. We've got the NFL draft coming up. We've got, the playoffs. We've got all kinds of stuff. We're still going to be providing content. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We would certainly appreciate that. And leave your comments. That's what we would like the most. We want to see what you guys think about this week. We want to know what your edges are, what games you're picking, etc. So go ahead and knock that out. We are not going to get to every game. We're going to get to all the championship games. Yes. We're not going to get to every game. But we do have thoughts on all of them. And if you want to ask us about it, you can always follow us on Twitter. I'm at Gary WCE.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini.
And we make it very easy. You can DM us. You can just send a regular tweet. You can add us. You can whatever. And we will respond to you. So we would certainly appreciate you guys jumping in and helping out with that. Let's jump into the chat and see who all is jumping in with us. Watch Me Now is here. Seeing Coastal go strong against Goliath BYU players impressed me beyond words, she said. And Birdie, thanks for the last 4 months. I have learned a ton. Always fun hanging with Gary and Chris. That's what I like to hear. Jorge C., sup guys, following from Mexico. You guys made me enjoy college football even more and win some money. Amazing show. That's what I'm talking about.
Appreciate that.
The dude Abide said some games already being canceled. Indiana, Purdue has been canceled.
Yeah. And we lost our first bowl game.
Michigan, Iowa has been canceled. Just a mess. And we did lose our first bowl game. Frisco Bowl, done.
Gone.
Adios. So is what it is. All right, let's go ahead and run into the recap. And boy, was last week another disaster. We are, say we've got a plane that is just running out of fuel. And it's beginning to nosedive.
Let's hit something hard. End it.
So I went 3-6 last week. That puts me at 49, 56, and 2. That's a 46.67% record. I'm down like 11 units on the season. I only bet 1 unit on each of my picks because of this exact reason. This sport is crazy. You never know what's going to happen. I don't have favorite bets. All of them are my favorite bets. So I'm down 11 units, but when you start out with over 100, I feel pretty good about that. That's not terrible. Like I've had some years where I've lost way more than that. I've had some where I've won a lot more than that. This one did not go my way, but that's okay. Chris,
2-6, not
2
good.
6.
Not what you want.
Nope, but we are. Hey, so you're 47 and 54 on the season. Mm-hmm. You are 46.53%. I am 46.67%. We are right there, right on. The dude Abide said you guys were right on the Arizona State game, though.
Yeah,
Chris was dead on with that one.
Had that one.
Yeah, dead on. Hey, by the
Thanks,
way,
Herm.
I was looking through my numbers. We've got a spreadsheet on our website that it goes through all of our different picks. And on weeknight games, I was 4-13 this year.
Yeah, we seem to do well on Thursday and Friday.
Well, you do.
I have. Yeah.
You do. Yes. I have been awful.
Oh, were you? I kind of thought you were good too, but I don't.
4-13. So if I had not picked
if I don't listen to what you just said, I don't know that. I was talking instead of listening.
If I had not picked a single weeknight game,
you'd be way over 500 then.
I'd be over 500.
Yeah, you'd be doing. Yeah,
unbelievable.
I do well on weeknights.
I know you do.
Yeah, by the time Saturday gets here, I'm. Just take her down.
This past week, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was 2-0, and then I didn't win a single one.
0-6 on Saturday. So yeah, the record not great this year, but we have had a good time.
I had fun.
We knew
I did what you're supposed to do.
We knew that this season was going to be bananas. And it took a little while. Like early on, I was having success, and I was like, "There's no way that we should be able to read this that well." No. And
I was very much bothered by the fact that you could find trends that made sense. Because I don't believe any of those trends actually have anything to do with the outcome. I just thought this is just a monkey throwing darts, and you're just hitting a lot more than I'm hitting. Because none of your analytics should work. None of them should work.
You should not work. But a lot of them early were not trends because we didn't have a typical season going on.
I don't know where the numbers were coming from that I thought I would put any faith in at all. But they worked out. I still don't believe in that.
Totally fair.
I mean, I know people who believe in voodoo and witchcraft. I don't think it works, but they do. And there's been times where it seemed to have worked out.
Well, they will continue to believe it so long as it continues to work.
So long as it continues to work, they're going to continue to believe it. That's right.
Even when it doesn't.
Well, you say even when it doesn't.
If it does every now and then.
The fact that it did work for them helps.
Yeah.
I do believe in voodoo, and it never works for me.
Well, I mean,
I put it on Bama every week, and you see what that happens.
Yeah, but you can't phase that. But everything else, though, I'm totally fine with the voodoo juju on everything else.
So I need like a higher powered shaman or something to come in, and I'll find it. I'll spend every resource I have.
Let's move into the games. Let's talk about the actual games this weekend. The biggest game of the weekend is the ACC Championship game. That is Clemson and Notre Dame. The Tigers are a 10.5-point favorite. This one is in Charlotte. It is 4 p.m. Eastern time on ABC. I think this is going to do monster numbers. I think it's going to be the biggest college football game of the day. And, so it's 10.5. Right, with a total of 59.5.
Yep.
And Prediction Tracker has it Clemson minus 6.22. Everybody loves Clemson. Now, I don't know why.
Trevor Lawrence.
And, so here's the other side of this, right? The other side of this is Clemson was without Trevor Lawrence. They were missing 3 starters on the defensive front 7. They lost both of their safeties in the middle of the game. They lost Brian Breesy towards the end of the game. They had a lot of dudes out on defense. The other side of this is, what in the world has happened to Travis Etienne? Like, it didn't just start in that Notre Dame game.
No, it did not.
But, the games before, he was at least able to get, the receiving yards.
He was an all-purpose yard guy, not just rushing yard guy.
He was able to impact the game.
Yes.
Going back and looking at what he's done over the last few weeks.
Since the Notre Dame game. He really hasn't had – I think he's had one good all-purpose game after that.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good rushing game. It was a good all-purpose game where he caught a lot of balls. I still don't think he had a lot of yards. Has anybody cost himself more money than him?
Chuba Hubbard.
Okay. You're all right. Yeah. Those 2 running backs.
Yeah.
2 running backs, by the way. If you're a running back and you have a chance to go play on Sundays,
you better do it.
You should take that. That education is not going to help you
now
make up the difference in money that you lost.
Najee Harris for Alabama. Now, he has made himself money. But
I don't know because I don't believe. I
don't think he was going.
I think we have more information now that running backs don't matter and you shouldn't take one in the first round.
Agreed.
He wasn't going in the first. I still don't think he's going to go in the first.
He may not.
And so therefore he didn't cost himself any money. He didn't make himself any more money. He's going to go where he would have went, which is early second.
Yeah. Watch Me Now said what happened to the blockers for Etienne also.
Well, they went and got paid on Sundays.
Yeah.
That's what happened. And
A lot of them.
He should have followed.
So on November 7th, Notre Dame won this game 47-40 in double overtime. It was epic, right up there for best game of the year.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
So far on the season, we've got 6 overs and 3 unders for Clemson. We've got 4 overs and 2 unders in the last 6 for Notre Dame. So where we might think that this would be a defensive battle, all that kind of mess, the total at 59.5 actually kind of seems a little low. Like, I think that these two teams can get this into the 60s because normally you get into a situation like this and coaches will be risk averse. They will be trying to shorten the game.
I actually think that, though.
You think that's
we had that conversation last night.
Yeah, and we did talk about it, but I'm
sticking with my guns. I think both these teams are going to play much more conservative at the beginning of the game. And I also think just because of game flow and game script, it's just going to be different. So while you think, oh, Trevor Lawrence is here, so they're going to outscore what they scored last time.
No. I'm not buying that it's going to get into like 87
I just don't see that being the world.
But I could 100% see this being like a 35-31 kind of ball game.
Well, I mean, you pointed out all those Clemson defensive players that missed the first time.
Yeah.
You don't think that's going to pull Notre Dame's offense back?
Yes, I think it will a little bit. But I also know that Notre Dame's offense since that game has kind of been rolling.
Pretty good.
I mean, these are two fantastic football teams.
Yes.
So
I agree completely.
The only one that wouldn't belong in the playoff with the loss would be Clemson.
Yes.
Because you can't look at any wins on their
They have no
schedule.
no wins at all.
But either way, you're rolling Notre Dame here, right?
I'm not giving up on my Irish.
This is not going to be an official play for me, but I do like Notre Dame. I'm probably going to bet it.
Okay.
I'm probably going to bet it. 10.5 feels like too many points. I feel like there's just too much love.
I really want Notre Dame to win this game.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand it. All right, moving on to the SEC Championship game. We got Alabama and Florida. And Florida took one on the nose last week. They threw a shoe, and they threw away their play. Well, did they throw away their playoff chances?
Yeah, 2 losses ain't getting in.
You don't think so?
No, I think they would need Northwestern.
Chaos.
They would need. Here's my problem. I believe that committee would put Clemson in with 2 losses to Notre Dame over Florida in with a loss to LSU.
I think they would still put Alabama in.
Well, yeah, but Alabama would only have 1 loss.
But that's what I'm saying is that they would put Alabama in and not put Florida in, even if Florida beat Alabama.
Well, Alabama's getting in no matter what. Yes. So it would be Notre Dame. If Notre Dame beat Clemson and Northwestern beat Ohio State, Ohio State's out. So you've got Notre Dame, you've got Alabama. That's 2 of the 4.
Yeah.
Now
this playoff stuff is
now.
bananas.
Who do you pick as the other 2? It ain't Northwestern with 1 loss. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're probably right about that.
Is there a world in which they would go 2-loss Clemson and 1-loss A&M over? They can't put 2 SEC schools in and not put the champion of the SEC in.
That would be really strange, right?
That can't happen. That can't happen.
No.
Hell, they might still get in.
You realize we could do a live show on Sunday morning before they do this playoff selection and talk for an hour and a half about playoff possibilities.
Yeah. and there's a chance that most of those possibilities just don't happen.
Oh, yeah. Well,
we need to know the outcome. If we get all chalk, then we have our playoff.
There you go.
And you talk for 5 minutes and the show's over with.
Pretty much.
ESPN's going to do a 4-hour show about something we already know the answer to.
Agreed. But what I'm saying is we do an hour and a half before they announce it because we can absolutely do that. Either way, this game is at 8 p.m. Eastern time on CBS. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. It's at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And Alabama, a 17-point favorite. Total is around 74.5. You can find some 75s. You can find some 74s, right?
Yep, that's right.
So, I mean, if you like the over, find your 74. If you like the under, find your 75. Just shop your books over at sbrodds.com. Alabama is 8-2 against the spread this season. They have covered 7 straight. In the last 6, every line has been 22 points plus.
Yeah, but they play dog teams.
Agreed. Florida, however, has played dog teams, and they are on an 0-4-1 against the spread mark, including a loss last week against
But those
LSU.
were 20-point spreads also.
Some of them, yes. But LSU game for sure was. And then they just lost that one outright.
And they lost it outright.
Florida has the total has hit under in 4 of the last 5.
Yep.
And 4 of the last 6 for Alabama. So, and that's mainly because the other team is not scoring. Florida's defense, number 76 in QBR defended. That's not good because Alabama is number 1 in quarterback QBR. Alabama's number 16 in QBR defended. Florida is number 3 behind BYU. Yep. Interesting tidbit. Florida, number 40 against the run. And I dug into those numbers, and I feel very strongly about this. One of my plays is going to be Florida's team total under 28.5. And part of that reason is because I think Alabama will try and shorten this game a little bit. You can power run on Florida. You can take the air out of the ball a little bit. I think that's what Alabama's going to do. Saban likes to do that. Sark likes to do that, especially with Najee Harris, Brian Robinson, that bunch. I think instead of scoring and then giving Florida multiple opportunities to score, just shut the thing down if you already know that you can score, right? So you go out, you get a lead, they're going to shut this thing down. I think Florida's team total is.
I don't hate that philosophy.
So that's the way that I see it going. There's a number of different ways that we could do. And if that is the case, the only way that this thing goes over the 75 or 74 is if Alabama just decides to rout, right? But I don't think that that's how it's going to go. This feels very Georgia-ish, 45-24, something like that. And at that point, you're looking at like 69 points. So if I had to play it, I would play the under on the total because 75 points is just a hell of a lot of points, man.
I think there's going to be a lot of points. I kind of feel differently, but I've been really, really wrong on some of these. I like Florida. I think the reason Florida overlooked LSU was because they were probably already starting to get ready for Bama, and they knew they could go in and beat this haphazard, this team that looked like they had quit, Tiger team. And
I just so I thought that same thing when we talked on Sunday, right? I said up 17, too many points. Yeah. This is crazy. Until I started digging into like the last however many weeks, and we have talked about this multiple times with college kids. We see it in the NBA all the time. It's like, all right, well, can they flip the switch when they get to the important games? In college football, I don't know that you could do that.
Yep.
If you've been playing inconsistently for 6 straight weeks, how do you just flip it back on? Oh, Kyle Pitts didn't play last week. Well, he's going to play this week, and everything will be different.
Yeah.
We don't really know that.
No,
so
you're right. No, we don't know that. You're exactly right. I also believe in these books and this is not science by any stretch, but to continue to take a bath on teams, I just don't see happening. It's the reason I backed off of Coastal the last couple of weeks, because the books have taken a bath on them all year long, and then I realized, man, they're not going to do that forever. Bama's no different than that.
Agreed.
They've taken a bath on this team for a long time, and now they're about to get overloaded. You know that at the number 17, the way Bama has rolled the last 4 or 5 weeks especially, that they are going to get overloaded with action on Bama.
You were probably right.
And so I'm going to take Florida. The only way Florida can cover is if it goes over. I would probably, if I played this game, I would parlay the Florida and the over line, because if you lose one, you lose them both. But if you lose one, you're going to lose them both.
That is true.
I think if for Florida to cover, they have to bust the over also.
I do agree with that.
And so why not get 2.5 times your money?
Because
on the same bet.
Yeah, their defense is not going
There's
to
no
slow
world
down.
in which Florida doesn't cover. It's like it might bust the over and you'd be like, oh, why did I bet Florida anyway? That's up to you. But if you're going to play Florida and the over, because it's not possible for one to hit and the other not to in my world.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that.
That's my thinking.
I agree. I don't believe that they're going to be slowing down Alabama. So
No.
the way that Florida stays in this ballgame is just trade score for score.
Well, they got to throw the ball, and you can throw on this young secondary for Alabama.
Yeah,
and
they are getting better.
They're getting. It doesn't matter. They're not. There's not a person on the planet that can cover Pitts, and so, but they've got a lot of other weapons outside of Pitts as well. The one thing that I like about Florida going up against Bama's defense is the fact that they don't run while they have a lot of long offensive plays, big plays, they get the ball out quickly.
Yeah.
So there's been no pass rush that has been able to get to Kyle Trask, but that's not a Kyle Trask's magic. That's where kind of Dan Mullins makes his money and breads his butters. He knows I throw the football in 2.5, 3 seconds. There's nobody in the country that can get back there that fast.
Yeah.
This is not, I don't need an offensive line.
Oh, he's done this when he was at Mississippi State.
That's right.
Like that's
right.
When he was at Bowling Green.
He
under
just
Urban Meyer.
didn't have the athletes to take those 17-yard slants to the house the way he has now.
Agreed. Agreed. Moving on, the Big Ten Championship. I put this as the third biggest one because, Ohio State still with playoff opportunity here. I think Iowa State might be a better game, but Northwestern and Ohio State, I think, is the third biggest game. Ohio State, a 20.5-point favorite, total of 57 here. It's 12 p.m. Eastern time on Fox. It's in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's Lucas Oil Field. So the prediction tracker analytics has Ohio State a 17.5-point favorite. And I started looking through this. This is the prototypical great defense going up against a great offense and a not very good offense going up against a not very good defense, right? And Ohio State's defense is still, like, statistically looking pretty good, right? And Northwestern's offense, statistically looking okay, right? Like, they're whatever. But this is a fantastic defense against a fantastic offense, and who is going to move the other one? Who is going to be able to dominate this game? I think we all kind of think
it's an offensive game.
Yeah.
It's an offensive game, so the offense is going to win more of those than lose them. We're trying to figure out the ultimate factor is the point spread. If you say who's going to win this game, well, 9 times out of 10 in the game of football, the way the rules are written, you take the team with the better offense over the team with better defense. Can they do it by 3 touchdowns?
So I would roll Northwestern plus 21. I would hesitate at plus 20.5, but I would still probably take Northwestern at plus 20.5. I do feel like they can keep this thing within a couple of scores.
So,
right?
So our guy Tyler jumped in. Said first time catching the show. It was way, way earlier. Said first time catching the show. Appreciate that. Ohio State, big. Tyler, hate to burst your bubble, but that ain't happening.
So here's
my Wildcats are gonna fight in this game.
Here's what
they're gonna make Ohio State fight.
Agreed.
Which means you can't beat somebody by 3 touchdowns.
This is what I'm scared of, right? Northwestern is the kind of team that would typically shorten this game, right?
Yes.
Because you would take as long as humanly possible on offense to, you want to control the clock. You want to control the tempo.
That's right.
Northwestern can't run the football.
Yeah,
but they've gotten better. But
you can shorten the game. You've watched football too long, Gary, to know that you don't have to have a run game to run the ball.
Agreed. But I don't trust Peyton Ramsey to be able to
3
do the
5-yard passes are a run game now.
Agreed.
A lot of schools do it.
Do you trust Peyton Ramsey to be able to get that done?
I do. I really do, actually. I actually think that I don't trust him on big plays. On 3rd and 19, I almost would rather, run the football there, get a draw play, get what you can, and punt. On the big plays is when he tries to make something happen and turns the ball over. He doesn't do that on 1st down. He doesn't do that on 2nd down. The problem with this offense is early on, and they're probably still this way, they were very predictable. Okay, that's the issue. They run the ball on 1st down, don't get much. They throw the ball on 2nd down, they throw the ball on 3rd down. If they can get a 1st down in those 2 throws, great. If they play all Ohio State that predictable, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get nasty, and I can't help them. I've got to think that they're not going to get predictable. They have to throw the ball more on 1st down because one of the ways you run the football is it's a lot easier to run it on 2nd and 3 than it is on 1st and 10.
Okay, yeah. All right, I can roll with that.
But I know that. I know that. I like to think that their offensive coordinator knows that because he's a hell of a lot smarter than I am. The problem is he hasn't shown that he knows that all year.
Bajakian has been an upgrade.
That's not a definitive upgrade from Mick McCall.
Yes, McCall is.
I will stamp that seal of approval. But man, that's going from the first beater car that you bought out of high school to like a Toyota Celica or whatever, a
Like
Honda
a Camry or whatever.
Camry, nice car now. Like, what's the one smaller than that? Like
It's, I guess, a Celica.
The Honda
right?
Civic.
Honda Civic, yeah.
Yeah, like
Okay.
that's like it's an upgrade. I mean, it's an upgrade.
We guess.
It's got some safety features, and it doesn't leak oil everywhere. But okay.
Northwestern is 6-1 straight up this season. 6-1 against the spread. They are 1-0 against the spread as an underdog this season. Their unders have hit 6 times out of 7. So the point total constantly going under. They can't get the number low enough. Ohio State 5-0 straight up, 3-2 against the spread. 4 overs in 5 games, and the other one was a push. So,
Birdie said the same thing for the Florida game. This is one where if you like Northwestern, you correlate it with the under.
Yeah,
I think so too. I think that's the right play because there's no world in which if this thing busts, Northwestern wins or covers. I guess they cover because 21 points is a lot of points.
It does seem like a lot of
so
points.
I think you could cover and still it go over. But anyway.
Either way. Big 12 Championship. Let's move on to that one. Oklahoma and Iowa State. The Sooners are a 5.5-point favorite, total of 58. It's 12 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday on ABC. It's in Arlington, Texas. Jerry World, baby. That's right. October 3rd. This game was already played once. And Iowa State won the game 37-30. Now they get to do this again, and Oklahoma is returning Ramondre Stevenson and defensive end Ronnie Perkins, along with I forget the wide receiver's name, and he's been pretty good since they came back. Burrell, maybe some either way. The over is 4-0 in the last 4 meetings between these two teams. Iowa State has covered 5 in a row against Oklahoma. The line has not been this short in any of them. It's 5.5. The 58, I feel pretty good about this going over.
Yeah, I do too. I think there's going to be points scored.
Yes, I do as well. Prediction tracker, the analytical average has Oklahoma favored by 3.8 points. And that sounds about right to me.
Yeah.
I do think Iowa State can win this ballgame. Me and you talked shortly before we went live, and I was trying to decide, do I take Iowa State? I feel pretty good about it. Like I got my hand on the bet. Do I do it or do I not? Because 5.5, I'd feel better if it was 7. Look, if you want to go back and watch the SBR preview videos that we did for these conferences before the season, my dark horse candidate to win the Big 12 this year was Iowa State. I was all in on Brock Purdy. I was all in on that offensive line. I was all in on that defense. And I'm going to ride with them. So I'm going to go ahead and take Iowa State plus 5.5 here. I think they have been playing the best football in the Big 12 over the last, 4 weeks. Yeah. They have been steamrolling teams. And I tried to get in front of that train a couple of times. I'm not doing it here. Like that just ain't happening. I saw Baylor slow down Oklahoma. To me, that means that Iowa State can slow them down. Now, watch this end up being like a 45-41 ball game or whatever, which that'd be good if my over hits. But
I'd say you'll still cover.
Either way, I'm rolling Iowa State here, and I think that they can win the game, and I think they got a damn good shot to win the game.
Yeah, I do too. I like Iowa State. I worry about the over because I think they can shorten the game.
Shorten it. Yeah, Breece Hall can run.
And I think their defense can slow Oklahoma down. It is tough. I mean, listen, I'm getting you to start stepping in front of some of these big boys now. I like it. You're going to bet against Clemson. You're going to bet against Oklahoma. Man, I feel like you're a different person. Yeah, I'm rubbing off on you a little bit. I like it.
I think it's the right side.
I like it. I'm not definitive to a point where I'd make a pick on it, but right here, picking one way or the other. Yeah, let me have the dog. Let's let some new blood win the Big 12.
Yes. Casey has jumped in on our chat after every one of these games. And anytime we pick a dog, he's like, our favorite is winning big.
Casey's just chalky. And throwing a dog up there all night.
He said Oklahoma wins big. Yeah. Yeah, and then Tony, Clemson's going to cover. Yeah. Whatever. There we go. The dude abides. Iowa State for me. Look, I like the Cyclones. I like what they're doing in Ames. Ames makes me happy. So I'm rolling with that. Let's move on to the Sun Belt Championship. Maybe the best game of the day.
Man,
even with all these other ones,
it's gonna be a damn good game.
It's gonna be a barn burner. That's right. Louisiana headed to Coastal Carolina. And the Shots are a 3.5-point favorite with a total of 55 here. 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, and they got it on the big ESPN. They finally got the big network.
Got a little love.
It's in Conway, South Carolina, which for those that are not, totally acclimated to it, Myrtle Beach. So we love the beach. We like going over there. Coastal won the first matchup between these two. They've already played once. Doing it again. It was 30-27, and that was on a Thursday night.
Yeah. Down
in Louisiana. Coastal scares me a little bit. Last week, we kind of saw that coming. Let down, look ahead sandwich, right? Do not bet on a team double digits the week before a championship game when they're coming off of a massive emotional win. All that kind of stuff, right? We get it.
When they've been killing the books as well.
So
that's the other thing is
now
books gonna get back a little bit.
Troy, super talented team. They had a bunch of guys coming back. All that kind of mess, right? They were finally healthy. They looked good in that game. Coastal came down towards the end, got the win. Louisiana here is number 18 in the country in EPA per rush on offense. Coastal, their rushing defense, number 88 in expected points average or expected points added per rush. That is not a good thing.
No.
Louisiana, both of these coaches in high pressure situations, we have already seen them do this. They get very risk averse. They run the football. They trust their defense.
Yep.
And they do not do a lot of trick play kind of whatever stuff, right? We saw Coastal do it against Louisiana earlier. We saw Coastal do it against BYU.
That's right.
They shorten the game. When they feel like they are the less talented team, they find a way to get out of there and give themselves the best shot to win. Same thing with Louisiana here, right? They did this against Iowa State early, right? Let's shorten the game. Don't do anything crazy. And then if we have a special teams play or something go our way, then we're good to go. I see the same thing here. My favorite play on this, now the line is 3.5.
Yes, sir.
I'm going under the 55, and you can actually find a 55.5 out there.
Yep.
I'm going under the 55.5. I know the key number is 56. I don't care. I think pace of play is going to matter here. I think these two coaches are going to limit the scoring. These defenses are really, really good for the most part.
I agree with that.
What terrifies me about it is Louisiana can run. Coastal has a difficult time stopping it sometimes. I would go with the under because this feels very 24-21-ish to me. You feel the same?
I do like the under. I'm not letting you get out of that. You got to make a pick on this game.
God. Okay, if it's 3.5, I will take Louisiana to cover. I will take Coastal to win. I'll take a field goal game the same way that it was the last time.
Telling Coach Jamie. Jamie.
Hey, I took Coastal to win. Coach Jamie don't care about a line.
Yeah, he does. Give me the chance.
Coach Chadwell.
Give me a chance.
How dare you?
Betting against our guy, man. I can't believe you did that.
Oh, my goodness. All right, let's move into the interesting games. For people that are asking who was their lock, we have our official picks towards the end of the show. So we're going to roll through kind of rapid fire some more interesting games here. We did our deep dives on the 5 biggest games. We are doing our interesting games. We've got 8 of them that we'll roll through, and then we're going to give our official picks for the weekend towards the end. So I've got a money line parlay, a 7-point teaser, all that kind of mess. So hang around with us, and let's go ahead and move into the AAC Championship game. It comes on the same time as Alabama and Florida. That would be Tulsa and Cincinnati. Cincinnati, a 14-point favorite. This game is in Cincy. Wonderful Nippert Stadium. 45.5 is the total. It's 8 p.m. Eastern time on ABC. Prediction Tracker's got Cincy minus 14.5. Cincy, I want to know what their roster looks like. That's what I'm curious about. Because they have had so many games that they have had to cancel.
Correct.
Due to COVID issues, right? Protocols. I want to know what the roster looks like. I fully expect Cincy to be able to kind of walk through this game.
I think the roster's going to look just fine, by the way.
I think it is too. I think there might have been a little chicanery with last week getting canceled because the game was at Tulsa, and if we just cancel this,
I don't know that there was chicanery, but I think
come back to our place.
I think by time this week is around, all the players are back.
Maybe so. Birdie jumps in Tulsa for me on the spread, and wait for it, Tulsa money line as well. Birdie, you are bananas, my friend. I ain't getting in front of this Cincinnati train. Like, there is no way.
No.
Luke Fickell has this bunch rolling.
Yep.
They are dominant as it gets. And I think they're going to keep doing this. I think if I had to play it, I would roll Cincy.
I am playing it.
What do you think about the total? 45.5.
I'm not touching it because there's a world in which Cincinnati plays this thing low and slow. Tulsa doesn't score. They get, 35 and they get out of here. There's also a world where they've beaten the hell out of teams and they've put up 40 themselves.
Oh, I mean, they beat Memphis 49-10.
Yeah. So I'm there's that world exists where they can beat the hell out of Tulsa.
Daryl jumped in and said Cincinnati by 100.
Yeah. No, I like Cincinnati by this line has gone up. I'm not afraid of this line going up. I don't like right now it's at 14. I don't want it to go over 14 because why would I want things to be harder on myself? I really am not afraid of it.
So
I could be wrong. I could be dead wrong on this. I think Cincinnati is so much better than every team in the America. It's not close. I've said this all year.
Look up Cincy's schedule right quick. So Birdie jumps in. He said, you can't not play football for 28 days and just magically play at a high level.
Yeah, you can.
I'm very curious about this. I didn't know that it had been 28 days.
I got you. Hang on.
So that's what I'm a little concerned about now.
Give me a damn minute.
I thought it had been like 2 weeks, but maybe that's not right.
December 12th. Where am I at? That is some basketball. Jesus. You basketball people are the worst.
It is what it is. I consider myself a basketball.
I know. That's who I was talking to.
Well, that would be the app, I believe.
No.
But yeah.
It's because of you that the app put it on so low.
Well, I mean, that's the way it goes.
November 21st, they beat UCF.
November 21st. So we had November 28th, December 5th, December 12th. Yeah, this would be 4 weeks, man. That's a long time.
It'll be all right.
Ooh, I don't know.
Right. 4 weeks to prepare for the same team.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I think I might roll Cincy. I think, yeah. It's not going to be an official play for me. It probably is for you, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's move on.
Now folks throwing in basketball picks after trash basketball.
Pac-12 Championship on Friday night, Oregon against USC. And boy, howdy, was this interesting. USC was slated to play Washington. And then
Washington got the COVID.
Washington got COVID. And on Monday morning or Monday, I guess, afternoon, they called him and said, hey, and the Pac-12 did at least do this part, right? They went ahead and sent Colorado and Oregon to LA for the week, and they were just going to have them play there if it came down to it. But if Washington was out, then Oregon was next up. And then if Oregon was out, then Colorado was next up.
Yeah.
They were going to have a championship game.
You know what? It amazes me. The one conference that actually seemed to have backup plans for their conference championship game seemed to be the Pac-12, the one that seemed to have the least amount of planning for all of this.
Yes. Oh, agreed. Besides the Big Ten, or maybe the Big Ten.
Well, they literally piggybacked off of everything the Big Ten did. So at least the Big Ten had a plan, and the Pac-12 said, we're going to follow their plan. So they're a step behind a team that doesn't know what they're doing.
Yes. So basically, USC found out on Monday that they are playing Oregon on Friday. But they have to keep the game on Friday because it's a Fox property.
That's right.
And it has to be on Friday.
Because the TV told them to.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Well, I mean, that happens when you don't have a good TV deal. Right?
Yes.
So.
When you have bad leadership, you mean? That's what you meant to say.
Larry Scott.
You have terrible leadership.
Larry Scott.
I'll do it for half.
USC is a 3-point favorite here. 62.5 is the total. It's Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Fox. So Prediction Tracker has USC -6, and I found that interesting.
That sounds right to me.
I do. Oregon has not looked good.
I was about to say that 6 sounds right to me. I would have probably made this game around a touchdown, even though USC has looked bad against everybody and then just finds a way to win. Here's the thing. When they look bad and find a way to win, they still win by a touchdown.
That's true.
They just look like crap getting there.
That is okay. That's a valid point. I am not going to have a play on this one. Like I'm just, you know what? If it gets to Friday night and I'm bored, I'll probably play
there's
it.
no way you're going to sit at home
But-
Friday night. You're not going to be betting on the Pac-12
Hey,
championship.
Birdie says I thought it was 3.5. 3, I take USC.
I'm seeing 3 across the board.
Yeah, I think it's moved a little bit here lately. It was 3.5 earlier today, but that's moved. Daryl said Oregon's too inconsistent for me. Yeah, that's kind of the issue that I have seen out of this team.
I've got the same problem with USC, by the way.
Well, so Oregon is really, really young. USC has at least got like an experienced offense and whatnot. Oregon does not.
I will tell you this: Slovis has looked really good this year. He has surprised me. I think I was expecting so little out of him,
dude. That offense, if Graham Harrell stays, and
I agree with that
Slovis and all these guys, if they stay
next year, they're gonna be
that's
scary.
Heisman level kind of stuff.
I know. I got my pick for next year in the Pac-12. Signed, sealed, delivered, done, locked it in. It ain't gonna be USC.
Yeah, I can believe that. I can believe that. All right. So we've got a bunch of guys. Well, Casey's jumping in with Oregon wins this game.
Yep.
Like if Casey hits on all these and we were just dead wrong, like SBR might need to hire Casey next year.
I'll be saying that. No.
Man.
No.
I've been so irritated with how bad my picks have been. So
I don't care.
Either way, I ain't touching this game. I don't trust either of these teams. Both.
He's funny and I look good. You can't replace us.
That's the best way to go about this. Just be entertaining. My God, let's move to the Mountain West Conference. The championship for them is on Saturday. It's at 4:15 p.m. Eastern time on Fox, and that would be Boise State headed to play San Jose State in Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas. I was going to say Nevada.
Which is actually
technically that's right.
And so it's technically right, but here's the way that this has worked. Boise State is playing at San Jose State, which is playing in Las Vegas, but it's actually on New Mexico's home field.
That makes it even cooler.
This has been a crazy season.
People that run that area of California.
So Boise is a 6.5 point favorite right now. Opened at 8, it's down to 6.5. A lot of people on San Jose State. Can't say that I blame them. The total is 56. I am not touching the total. I love San Jose State.
So I do too, and that scares the hell out of me. Because everybody loves San Jose State.
Prediction tracker, the analytical average is Boise minus 5.99. So, okay, that's about right.
If I played this game, I'd play San Jose State money line. I think if they keep it close, they got a shot to win it. And I don't know if the spread's going to matter. If Boise wins, I think it's going to be a touchdown game one way or the other.
Yeah.
I don't see either of these two teams kicking a lot of field goals.
I don't either. I really don't. So
I like San Jose State. Because this is the storyline. This team was the worst team in all of college football just a few years ago, and they can go from that to winning their conference championship. I think that's amazing. And beating this team that they're not the juggernaut they usually are,
right?
But they're still the face of G5 football, right?
Yes.
More people know them now. They know them for something that happened 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. They've got a brand.
They have a brand bigger than UCF, and bigger than Cincinnati, and bigger than Memphis, the other G5 schools. They beat each other up. Nobody's there to bully Boise around. Maybe San Jose's there to bully Boise around a little bit.
I'd be all right with it. Now, Boise has looked really, really good. So we'll see. When I say really, really good, they have won every other game other than the BYU game.
That's right. I throw that out. You're completely mismanaged there, or just it's not even close. Matched.
Right. Boise has looked good. This is a rematch, or not even a rematch, but a game that was supposed to be played several weeks ago.
Regular season, which is a game I want it to be played badly.
Yes, I would have liked to have seen it.
We didn't get that.
But I'm glad that we've got it now, and it's not going to be on the blue turf. It's going to be in Vegas. Doesn't get any better than Vegas. So I'm going to roll San Jose State. I love San Jose State in this spot. I think it is a very, very close ball game one way or the other. When you said we're not looking at a whole lot of field goals, I do think that it could be a field goal game.
You do?
But hold on. What I'm saying is like coming down to the end. Like this feels very even to me. And if you're giving me 6.5 points, I'm gonna take 6.5 because
I'm gonna take the head start. I think because I think both teams can win the game.
I can see a 31-28.
I like the one I get the head start.
31-28, 31-27. Something like that. I could 100% see that. There's a lot of different ways that I could see this going, but I see it being close.
Yeah.
Either way.
I hope so.
And I really feel like San Jose State has a good chance to.
I'm excited to watch this game.
They got two quarterbacks that can absolutely play. So
yeah.
So I'm good with that. I like San Jose State. Moving on, let's move to the MAC, and this one is on Friday night as well. Ball State and Buffalo. The Bulls. Lance Leipold finally getting some love. I talked about him before the season. This team has so much experience. This coached at Wisconsin Whitewater, played for 7 national titles, in D3. He can just coach them up.
Yeah.
Like he's just a ball coach. That's what he does. And Buffalo has been steamrolling everybody. They are favored by 13.5 here. And, so Ball State as an underdog, really, really good over the last 2 seasons. 7-1 against the spread as a dog. This one, by the way, give you the information on it. Friday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. This one's on the big ESPN. So a total of 66.5. Buffalo's favored by 13.5 right now. Ball State 7-1 against the spread as an underdog since the beginning of 2019. And they've done it a couple of times this year already. Like they just won outright as a dog. Like good football team. However, Buffalo 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 as a 10-plus point favorite. If they are favored in a game, more times than not, they are going to steamroll you. Jarrett Patterson is the guy to watch in this game. He is the one that had a 300-yard rushing game, and then the very next week, he had a 400-yard rushing game. Willie Jones jumps in. He said, "You better take Buffalo."
Yeah, Casey jumped in and said, "Ball State cover lock."
Oh, come on, man. Casey, get out of here with this mess. Hey, look. I will say this. I'm not going to touch the spread because it jumped up so much.
I am.
Here is, and I know that you are, but this is my play on this. My play is going to be the Buffalo team total, which is currently sitting at only 40. They have scored at least 42 in every game this year. I looked at Ball State's defensive stats, and my first thought was, so they're like 47th, 46th, or whatever in the country at rushing yards. But when I went and looked at their defensive numbers, they have given up more than teams average the majority of the time. So it looks like the numbers are pretty good until you actually look into each individual game. And I don't think they're slowing down Jarrett Patterson in that bunch.
Yep.
So I do like Buffalo. I'm going to take Buffalo over the 40 on this. Casey, Buffalo under 40. Man.
That's fine.
Mark jumps in. He said Ball State over team. So the team total is 27 or around there for Ball State. I mean, maybe
that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
That wouldn't surprise me.
No,
I'm taking Buffalo. I'm laying all the points. I don't care.
I mean, this is for a championship.
I think yes,
and an undefeated season, which Buffalo has never had.
Yeah. No.
So, I mean, we shall see.
And I think Lance is coaching for a lottery ticket.
Oh, 100%. A prediction tracker average on this one: Buffalo minus 9.95.
I think that's insane.
I mean, it's just the analytical stuff, right? So, and it doesn't always hit. Sometimes it's dead on, but it doesn't always hit. So, hey, surprise, by the way, the top 5 did not change in the CFP ranking. Yeah, it is what it is. Iowa State is number 6, though. So, since he's still sitting back there. Moving on, the Conference USA title game. UAB and Marshall. Marshall, a 5.5-point favorite. Total of 52. Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time on CBS Sports Network. Prediction tracker has Marshall minus 6.74. And while we hate this, we think that this is just dead wrong.
Yeah.
Marshall has got a phenomenal defense.
Yes.
And their offense, when they are not throwing pick sixes and whatever else, is pretty damn good. I really like Marshall in this spot. I think they are going to hammer UAB. UAB has not been good all year. They lost their top wide receiver just a couple of weeks ago. They have lost multiple guys to opt-outs and whatnot. UAB 1-6 against the spread this year. They are 2-6 against the spread their last 8 as an underdog. They're just undermanned here.
Yeah, I think so.
And while we love taking them, because like UAB's been good to us over the past however many years,
yeah.
And we love Bill Clark. We also love Doc Holliday. Marshall is the play here.
Marshall's just so much better.
Yes,
they're just so much more talented. I think they're going to come out super fired up. They had a chance at an undefeated season.
Yeah,
had a chance to do something really special this year.
But they can still win a championship.
That's right.
And that's Tony.
I think the talent separation here is big.
Oh, it's big.
I think it's real big.
Tony jumps in, by the way, said Rice kicked Marshall's butt. I think they took their heart.
No,
don't think
so. They just pissed them off.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. I think Marshall demolishes this team, which is what Heath says, and I agree. Yeah. I agree. All right, let's move on. We got 3 more, and we are done with championship games. Let's move into Texas A&M at Tennessee. We're heading on up to old Rocky Top up in Knoxville. 12 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. Is it going to be a lazy Saturday morning in Knoxville? Just a sleepy, can Tennessee pull an upset, make a little playoff craziness? I don't think so. A prediction tracker has this A&M minus 12.7. The line is currently A&M minus 14. Total of 51. What are your thoughts here?
I like A&M. I like Jimbo. I think they feel like they're playing for an argument to get into the playoffs. You can't do that if you slip up against Tennessee.
That is true.
You got to kick their ass.
We saw what Florida did against them, and I don't think that the A&M will let that happen.
No.
And so A&M's defense, by the way,
there are no backdoor covers. Yes, this is the best defense Tennessee has played all year.
Yes.
It ain't Georgia. It's this one.
Yes, I agree. This A&M defense is for real.
Yes.
So Mark jumps in. A&M rolls, need a big win, get into the playoffs.
That's right.
The Flying Hawaiian said the Vols cover here as A&M relaxes in the 4th.
I don't think
there's relaxing here. And then Casey said Tennessee cover, and they're live for the upset. I think Casey just wants to fight with us today.
Yeah, he probably does. That's fine. I don't care.
We love you, Casey.
Yeah. I do believe that A&M needs, because Pruitt's no joke.
Agreed.
He's a good defensive coach. I do think Kellen Mond needs to show up and have a great game. Yes, I think they need this to be Kellen Mond's best game of the year.
Yes.
But I think he's capable of having that, and you got 2 weeks to prepare for it.
Oh, yes. I think so.
You knew early on you weren't playing that Ole Miss game.
I mean, it was last Monday that it was canceled.
Yeah. So you've had 2 weeks to look ahead and game plan for this Tennessee defense, which is good. We
know Kellen Mond is a bit of a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of thing.
Yes.
So
but I think this game matters. I think he'll play his best ball, and I think this defense will take either a true freshman quarterback and put him in a locker, or Guarantano and just push him into the water.
Yeah. I think you're right. All right, we've got 2 more, and we're going to kind of fly through these so that we can get to the picks here. Air Force minus 2.5 at Army. This is the Commander-in-Chief thing. Commander-in-Chief trophy. Air Force has already beaten Navy.
Yep.
Army has already beaten Navy.
Yep.
Now, the winner of this gets the trophy. Yep. So, Air Force, a 2.5-point favorite, total of 37, by the way. I mean, that is a low total, but as we saw last week with Army, right. It's 3 p.m. Eastern time on CBS Sports Network. Air Force at the prediction tracker, Air Force minus 2.16, roundabout, the right spot. Army has covered 2 of the last 3. They've won 2 in a row. No. They've won 2 of the last 3. They've covered 2 of the last 3. They won last year. Is that right? No, they lost last year, 17-14. Sorry, I had to get my mind right. Army lost last year, 17-14. They won the 2 years before that when they were good.
Okay.
Last year, Army was bad. Air Force took advantage. This year, Army is good. Air Force has only played 5 games? They're 3-2.
Yeah, they haven't played many.
I do like Army at home here, but it scares me because Air Force has not played in a little while.
Scares the hell out of me.
And Army just had to play their biggest rivalry last week. Now, they didn't have to, early in that game, you could tell how that game was going to go. I'm not going to say they didn't put a whole lot into it because they absolutely did.
They still had to fight like hell the whole game.
They didn't look great against Navy, but my God, they were playing in a fog.
Yeah, but I don't know if that matters.
I don't think it does.
My problem is if both these teams play their best game.
Air Force wins.
I think Air Force is better than them, and I think Air Force wins. And I think in big rivalry games, teams tend to show up and play their best game. It's not what have they done. It's not what do their trends look like. It is if both bring their A-plus game, who do you like? Because if I'm looking at the whole picture, I like Army. But I don't have to do that. I just need to know Saturday who's going to be better. I think
Birdie jumps in. Which Air Force team will we see? Air Force is the better team, in my opinion, but they're so damn inconsistent.
They are, but
that's
I think
true.
That's the issue is I think they're going to show, just like Vatech last week, I think they're going to show up and play their best game. They're going to play their best football in this game because it matters. And all those other games didn't matter.
Lyle jumps in. He says, you guys have an awesome show.
Appreciate that, Lyle.
But damn, last week, ouch, I'd look into picking up fly fishing or something.
Come on now. Mama don't even talk to me like that.
I don't blame you. I understand it was a bad week. But hey, you're going to have those, man. We just happen to have several in a row, and that's all right. You know, it's a long season. We still got a chance to get over 500. I feel pretty good about it. And if you control your bankroll pretty good, then you're still doing all right. We have fun on this.
I have a job.
Would you play the under here? I mean, 37.
No, 37 is low. That's too. If it was 40, I would. 37 just scares the shit out of me. I'm not touching that.
I would take Army, but the way that I have been picking lately, you might want to fade that. So
well, I mean, I've been bad, and I like the other way. So one of us is going to be right.
Well, there you go. I like the sound of that. The Flying Hawaiian said, tease down this over.
I don't know, man. That would scare the hell out of me. At 31, I think 31 we could cover, but that still scares me.
Last week, the total in this in Army and Navy
was 15.
Was 37 for the spread, the total. If you teased it down to 30, you were still only at half.
Yeah, you still got half of it. Only half.
Lyle said, you guys want to make a comeback. Great knowledge. Just giving you a hard time. Hey, no, we appreciate it. No, we need people giving us a hard time, man. All right, let's move on. Last game. It's a Pac-12 after dark game. You know I had to throw this one in there.
Okay.
Arizona State and Oregon State.
Yeah.
10:30 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. Arizona State a 7.5-point favorite. Total of 55 here. Prediction tracker has Arizona State minus 6.37. We both love what Jonathan Smith is doing with the Beavers. We also really love Herm Edwards and what he and Jaden Daniels are doing with the Sun Devils. I don't know which direction I would want to go here.
I do.
Do we have to ride Arizona State?
Yeah.
I mean, a 70 burger.
Well, which is the other thing is I think that defense is really good. And now, while I love Oregon State's run game, we know they're one-dimensional. You give a excellent defensive head coach a one-dimensional football team. I'm going to tell you this. Let me make a bold prediction. Let me make just a crazy prediction.
All right.
Is there any world where this is next year's Pac-12 Championship game?
No.
Oregon ain't there. No. Oregon State ain't there yet.
No, this is not.
Oregon State ain't there yet.
No, they're not there yet. It could absolutely be Arizona State's, but
it's because Oregon State's not there yet, right?
Yeah.
They're the only one? Okay.
I also wonder about Arizona State because they have been pretty.
That's already done.
Okay.
Done. Okay. See, I've spoken into existence already.
Hey, by the way.
Get your bets in early.
By the way, San Jose State, number 24 in the CFP.
Hey,
got them a ranking.
They broke in.
Woo-hoo.
They broke in.
All
let
right.
a little guy in.
All right. So I do think I gotta roll Herm. I got it.
He's going up against a team that's one-dimensional. Now, that one dimension, they're really, really good, but I trust Herm Edwards and this defensive staff to be able to slow down this run game.
Yeah, I think so too.
Birdie, I don't know that many people are slowing down Arizona State.
Yeah, that's true. Birdie said, I just love what Herm is doing in ASU. I'm not capping this game. I'm just taking ASU. Marvin Lewis is just way ahead of every offense. Yeah. Which is weird to say.
No, it's not. He's an NFL head coach. NFL head coaches are really smart for the most part, by the way. They're really good. When they go to college, if they don't have to recruit and they just have to draw up X's and O's, I promise you, they will out-scheme almost everybody on the other side every week.
Okay.
The NFL is really hard. They're really good.
Birdie said, yeah, Marvin Lewis is just a beast. He said, yes, we did have people asking. They canceled Indiana and Purdue this morning.
Yeah.
So that would have been one of our games to talk about.
That was a lock of mine, man. I'm talking. That was my favorite bet of the weekend.
That was why the line was going down, by the way.
Yeah, it's because
Indiana had
COVID.
Out. Yeah, Indiana had a bunch of dudes out. So is what it is. Let's move on to the official picks.
Let's go.
Hey, Travis said, so this is the last week you guys are going to be on. Yes.
For Tuesday. We'll still see Saturday, and we've got a lot. We're picking every bowl game.
Yep. We're doing a video for every bowl game, and we're still doing all kinds of stuff after the season. Futures and whatever else. We're going to be around. So no worries. College football content galore going forward. Let's move into Gary's official picks. I am 7 games under 500. I got 9 of them. I'm ready to rock and roll. So 49, 56, and 2 on the season. That's 46.67%. I'm going to end this baby with a 9-0 run.
All right.
That's what I'm talking about. All right.
How far under 500 am I?
You are, where are you?
You got it.
47 and 50. You are 7 games under 500.
Okay, so
I've just picked more than you.
5, 6, 7.
So
get to 500.
You're going to get back to 500. And then we still got bowl games, so, and playoffs and whatever else. But so my official picks. Go ahead, get your pen, get your paper. I'll wait. All right, we're good. Now I'm going to roll. So let's go ahead and do this thing. San Jose State plus 6.5 against Boise. Look, they're at home in Vegas on New Mexico's field. So why would I pick against them on their own backup field of another team, right? That's no. I love what Brent Brennan is doing. This team is fantastic. They've got 2 fantastic quarterbacks, a good running game as long as that Nick Nash kid is in there and whatnot. The defense, really, really good. I like them better than Boise this year. I think they can win the game outright. UAB's team total under 17.5. I think the Marshall defense shows up in a massive, massive way. The talent differential is insane here. I'm also going to roll Marshall on the spread, minus 5.5. So that's a twofer. UAB team total under 17.5. Marshall minus 5.5 for the game. I like Oklahoma and Iowa State over 57.5. The over has hit in 4 straight between these two teams. These are 2 offensive-minded head coaches. I know that Matt Campbell's program is built around a good defense and all that. You are not going to keep Oklahoma under 30. That's just not going to happen. And I think Iowa State, with Brock Purdy and Breece Hall in that offensive line, are going to be able to score with them. I think they can win the game. I think it goes over at that point. So over 57.5, this is going to be in the 60s, I believe. Northwestern plus 21 against Ohio State. I'm a little bit terrified of this one, but I also feel like that Northwestern defense is pretty good. I don't trust Ohio State. I just don't. And I also feel like there might be some kind of karma working in the universe. But we'll see. So I'll take Northwestern plus 21. And let's see. Next one up, Louisiana Coastal. I'm going to go under 55.5. 2 very risk-averse coaches that both like to run the ball. They both like to shorten the game. This feels very 24 to 21-ish to me. So I'm going to go with the under 55.5 on that one. Florida, team total under 28.5. I think Alabama locks them down. Alabama also knows that they can run the football on this team. And once they get a lead a little bit, that's all she wrote. I think the Alabama defense has advanced light years from where they were in that Ole Miss game. And the secondary has grown up. Pay attention to Malachi Moore. He will be one of the guys, the main guy, I believe, that'll be on Kyle Pitts. And this kid is an absolute stud. He is an NFL first-rounder in 2 years. I'm telling you. So, Buffalo team total over 40. They have not scored less than 42. I've already brought it up once. They are going to roll in this game. I don't know if they cover because the defense can be susceptible to some big plays and whatnot. But I do know that they can score. They got a good quarterback. They got a great philosophical head coach. Right? Lance Leipold is fantastic. And then I've got Iowa State plus 5.5. I decided to roll with it. I'm doing it. That was my dark horse to win it. I think they got a chance to win the game. And I'm going to roll with them plus 5.5 over Oklahoma. Moving into Chris, what do we say? 47 and 54 on the season. We're getting back to 500, baby.
Whew, I got to win them all to do that. I don't know that that's going to happen, by the way. All right. Rutgers plus 7 against Nebraska. Listen, the Fighting Rutgers, baby, they are just
the Fighting Giannos.
They're one of the most exciting teams to watch play college football. That's going to be a fun game to watch. Have your eyes on it. You'll love it. I promise you. I'm with you, man. Northwestern, and I'm not afraid of this one. I'm taking plus 21. I think bad things are going to happen in this game for Ohio State. I'm just telling you.
That's the karma thing.
I may have another voodoo doll, but whatever. I like this defense to keep it close. I think Ohio State is a really, really, really good football team, possibly a great team. I think Northwestern is going to keep it close. I think this is going to be your typical Big Ten slugfest. And with that being said, 3 touchdowns, just too much. Notre Dame, plus 10.5. Think they got a shot to win the game. If I think they can win the game, I got to think they can cover 10.5.
Yes, I agree.
So I like this to be a very close, hard-fought game. Cincinnati, minus 14. Here's where we get chalky. They're going to roll. They're going to completely dust Birdie. You're getting off the train too quickly. I'm sorry. It's going to run you over.
I will tell you what helps you in that situation. Cincy got moved back to 9 this week. Georgia just jumped them. They're going to be fired up about that one.
They should be. They should be. Cincinnati's a better team. They're the best team in the American. It ain't close. They're out for blood. They're coming for them. Buffalo, another train that you cannot stop in front of. I got them at minus 13. I like Buffalo. I think they're going to roll 2 touchdowns. Doesn't scare me. A&M playing to try to get themselves into the playoffs, so they have to whoop someone's behind to do that. Tennessee's not a hard behind to beat. And then Marshall, I have never, let me tell you, never bet against Bill Clark in my life. I almost didn't play this game because it feels wrong. But I really like Marshall. I think so much of this is we're looking at what happened last week, and we're letting it affect our judgment.
Yes.
If we knew Marshall was playing UAB this week and last week didn't happen, I think this would be a 10-point line.
Maybe more.
Double digits at least.
Yeah.
The fact that it's 5.5 is just too short. It's just too much of what we saw last week. I'm riding with the Thundering Herd.
Yeah,
that hurts me in my soul to do.
No, I know that you.
No. I'm sorry, and I got one more. I've got Arizona State.
Oh, you're rolling it. Okay.
Minus 6.5. 6.
Can you get a 6?
No, it's 6.5. You can't even get 6.5. It's 7.
You taking 7?
I'm taking 7.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to say we just gave it out as 7.5, and I think across the board.
Across the board at 7.5. You can find it at Bet Online at 7. You can find it at Heritage on 7. So you can get in.
You can get a 7 if you need it.
I can't even read this one.
It's all good. Don't even worry about it. Let's move into parlays and teasers, and that'll wrap it up. Casey said that he's got me at 2-5, which is funny because I've got 9 games. And then he said he's got Chris at 2-6.
So I would trust that person with my math. I got 9 games. You're going 2-5.
Hey,
the hell?
2-5-2. I mean, whatever. We love you, Casey. All right, parlays.
I don't love
I got one money liner. UCLA over Stanford. I like Bama. I like A&M. I like Ohio State to win, not cover, but to win. And I like Buffalo. So
too much chalk.
It's very, very chalky, but I do feel like those teams are significantly better than the other teams. So I'm rolling with those. 7-point teasers. Let's talk about this. Buffalo minus 6.5. Bama minus 10. A&M minus 7. And Oregon USC over 55.5. So, because the line is 62.5 right now. That's the way I'm rolling. That is my teaser play. That's my money line parlay. It's the end of a season of Tuesdays. We have appreciated you guys so much for jumping in here with us. You have kept the chat interesting. You have kept us interesting, and we certainly appreciate you being here. Of course, let's go ahead and remind you, go to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. We ain't going anywhere. We still going to be around, but we're just not going to be live on Tuesdays until we get rolling towards next season. So, with that said, sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. All the bowl games coming up. We're going to have articles. We're going to have videos for every single bowl game. We're deep diving every one of them. Some are going to get canceled. Some are going to be different kinds of matchups and whatnot. We're still waiting on a ton of the matchups. Selection Sunday is this Sunday. Lots to do, but go over to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF and you can keep up with everything over there. The Pick 6 contest, sbrpicks.com/Pick6. Go enter it for free. win your share of cash prizes, NFL picks and college picks every single week. Do that thing. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to it. Go ahead and jump in the comments, of course. Tell us what your picks are. Casey, he always does it anyway, so we already know how he does it. You can follow his lead and give us your picks for this weekend. We'd love to hear from you. And we did not get to every game, but you can always reach out to us and ask us if you want to know about our leanings on any of these other ones, right? So we didn't talk about the other Big Ten games, the other Pac-12 games, whatever. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Gary WCE.
I'm at Crispy Giannini.
And with that said, let's wrap this baby up. For sportsbookreview.com, I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And we will see you on Saturday morning.